guess we'll just go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for joining us. It's good to see you guys again, Cody, Reich, Phoenix. Um, yeah, like I said, thanks for joining us. Another week in the world of Lunk. I'm sure it's been very eventful for everyone. K-Rox, Rex, you guys want to go ahead and say hi?
Can you hear my dog?
Is that the chirping thing in the background?
Yeah, okay, you can hear my dog.
Are you sure that's a dog?
It is better than well, I guess it's kind of like what I have, which is Baby Shark playing in the background.
Hey,
And you guys probably can hear that.
we're all people. We work for a living.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, so per the usual, we're just going to go ahead and run through some news, which is cool because we actually had a few developments today that, if you haven't been made aware, I don't know if you've been on Twitter all day or not, like many people have, but there was actually a few developments today. One of them pertaining to Lunk, kind of, not really a development. So we'll go ahead and run through the news that I and mainly Hannah was kind enough to gather for us this evening. She's awesome, always working in the background. If you're on our Discord server, you're aware of her and how much she does. So the first piece, this actually broke today. So Trezor released, Ledger. Ledger released an update for their wallet, and they implemented this new recovery system for seed phrases. They actually call it Ledger Recover. It is a subscription service that allows users to utilize an additional layer of protection for their private keys, which is more a spin than anything, considering what this service does. It's just like it says, it's a subscription service that allows you to take your private key for your hardware wallet, um, and then divide it up into three pieces, which is an action called sharding, so dividing up data, and then send it to encrypt it, and then send it to three different entities, essentially, that will hold your part of your seed phrase that you can then utilize to recover if you ever, I guess, have to get a new ledger and don't have your seed phrase stored elsewhere. it's just it's just one more layer of what they're calling, like wallet security, which is really interesting, because it's seen a lot of backlash from the crypto community today on Twitter, on Reddit. It's and I actually tend to agree with them. I mean, the entire point of a hardware wallet is to secure your cryptocurrency away from any potentially third-party prying eyes, as well as keeping it, shielded from the internet and any type of web access. So to take your seed phrase and then give it to three different corporations, I mean, I kind of agree with them. You're defeating the entire purpose of a hardware wallet. It's really interesting to see Ledger take this route. And then, of course, all the backlash, because it has the potential to just open up one more backdoor into your wallet where there is supposed to be none, considering it's a hardware wallet. So that story is going to continue to develop. I'm sure Ledger had some public statements. They said, nothing really of note, and most of what else was said was, people on Twitter just yelling. So we're not going to go over what they have to say. They say it's completely secure, which, I mean, is great. But anytime you add any sort of layer that involves anyone else, or the, you know, utilization of the internet, I mean, you're adding another potential failure point inside of the system. And that goes with everything and everything. So moving on from that, though, a little bit of more macro market legislation news before we jump into Lunk. So if you guys are paying attention to Coinbase and their petition for imminent crypto rules from the SEC, considering the SEC filed that, what are they called? It wasn't a lawsuit. It was what comes before the lawsuit, what the SEC does. I forget the name of it. Not really important. That's just details. But they essentially they seek denial of Coinbase's petition. And what essentially they're doing is the SEC is saying, one, Coinbase, you don't have the right to demand immediate rules be made. And also, they're stating that there's already sufficient legislation in place to regulate crypto, and we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing with their, legislation through enforcement actions and, with Binance. Well, that was the CFTC, but with Coinbase and, of course, everything else, but everything FTX did was just fine, even though they had multiple meetings, but none of that matters. So that's really interesting to see as well. And then kind of sad, you see that anti-crypto army. I don't know if you guys were paying attention about 2 months ago. And I'm not trying to get political on the show, but a lot of Democrats came out in reproach of cryptocurrencies, and they started this whole anti-crypto movement. So they came out, supporting the SEC. Obviously, most of them are ignorant to the space. And you can see that from what they have to say and how they say it when it comes to blockchain and cryptocurrency technology. But they were just supporting the SEC and their statements, saying basically get wrecked, Coinbase, and figure it out. In antithesis of that, two awesome things coming out. And if you're not U.S. listeners, I do apologize. We're probably going to stick to U.S. news more than anything. Of course, we'll cover other countries when they have notable things happening, but it's good for you guys to know anyways, because it does have waves of effects that residually flow through the entire world. But anyways, in antithesis of what the SEC is doing, so the federal government, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill banning CBDC use in Florida. Signed a bill restricting the use of central bank digital currencies in the state, according to the local news source. The governor urged state lawmakers in March to draft the bill, so they actually finally pushed that through. The new law prohibits the use of United States federal central bank digital currency as money within Florida's Uniform Commercial Code. It also bans the use of CBDCs issued by foreign governments and calls on other states to use their commercial codes to institute similar prohibitions. So anyone who knows me personally knows I'm not a huge fan of Florida. I lived there for a while. It's just kind of a meh state for me. But it's really awesome to see Ron DeSantis do this. He's obviously taking a pro-crypto stance. He's also aware of the more Orwellian things that could happen when it comes to the use of a central bank digital currency. And he even, oh, wow, that was loud. Did you guys hear that thunder? Anyways, he even came out to say that I think they want to crowd out and eliminate other types of digital assets like cryptocurrencies because they can't control it, so they don't like it. So obviously he's taking a pro crypto stance here, and then winning more of his core supporter base by also framing it as securing, like Florida's economic structures and what have you. So CBDCs never allowed to be used in Florida for the time being, at least. So that's awesome to see. Another thing coming out of the states recently, Texas votes to add crypto to state's Bill of Rights. So for those of you that aren't aware, many states, especially Texas, have their own Bill of Rights that kind of accompanies and coalesces with the entire country's Bill of Rights. And Texas, with their bill HJR 146, introduced by State Representative Capri Galini, declares that individuals have the right to use a medium of exchange that is mutually agreed upon, which includes digital currencies, cash, coin, bullion, script, or for trading and contracting goods and services, and that this right cannot be violated. The document received 139 votes in favor, with only 2 against, and it includes a statement that no government shall prohibit or hinder the ownership or holding of any form or quantity of money or other currency. So that encompasses cryptocurrencies. And I mean, Texas has always been super pro crypto. They're super pro their idea of freedom over there, which I mean, it's more real freedom than anywhere else, probably. Um, so, two big developments coming out of the states today. Excuse me. So I guess just going a little bit further in that, in his explanation of the bill, Glass stated that it aims to leverage the inclusion of the right to own, hold, and use digital currencies in the Texas Bill of Rights to make a legal argument in the federal judiciary. This argument would invoke the Ninth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which recognizes the existence of natural rights beyond those explicitly listed in the first 8 amendments. So they're really trying to solidify someone's right to own crypto in Texas. Another interesting development that, when juxtaposed with the federal government's position, is just, I mean, it's explosive. Just to see, like I mentioned a moment ago, how the SEC, which is a federal organization, and how they're targeting and attacking crypto, and then you have states like Texas that says, we're going to allow it always. One more thing going towards crypto, I guess you could say, adoption and regulation. The the EU finance ministers approved micro crypto regulation. So if you guys have been following along with that, we touched on that about a month ago, where the EU, their more, I guess, like house type structured body, voted in the MiCA crypto regulations, which lays the general groundwork for regulating, centralized entities, and then also defines the different types of coins and tokens, and how they're to be defined. So to see that get voted in is just one step closer to regulation. And then that also makes it better for anyone that is anywhere that has less, regulation happening in their government, might be fighting it, such as the SEC. And, they really don't have a place to stand saying that there's no framework currently out. It would take years and years and years to do it, because now there is, that's been adopted by the EU. I mean, a rather reputable group of individuals. So nothing they can really say about that. Now, jumping over into more Lunk news, not much going on this week. We just had the proposal for the V2.0.1 upgrade pass. That's good. I don't think, that had an absolute, 99.57% voted yes. A little bit of no's and no, less than 0.5%. So that's awesome. Not really much to talk on that. I believe the chain halt, if I'm not mistaken, we're within, I'd say, probably 19, 18 hours now. Rex, do you know anyone? Ridge, maybe? No, exactly.
About what?
When the chain halt happens for the upgrade?
Oh, no, I don't.
It's sometime within the next day or so, guys. So just be ready for that. If you try to transact on chain and nothing's working, well, that's why. The validators are allowed a certain amount of time to do and be finished with the update. So I think they allowed them a good few hours, because we're all spread out across the world. Many of us work jobs. So, oh, thank you. Block time prediction is May 16th at 23:18 UTC. So that's within like what I said. So 17 hours, 27 minutes, and 19 seconds. Okay, it's also there. So in 17 and a half hours, that chain halt's supposed to happen. And then we'll take one of the first steps towards getting towards parity. And yeah. Other than that, it looks like we're going to see those 4 different governance proposals to split the burn tax with distribution module, modify the burn tax and a handler to 80/20 instead of 90/10, increase burn tax to 0.5, and then whitelist DAP contracts from burn taxes, which I'm fine with all of those. You know, I think, and like I said in my tweet yesterday, if you really want my opinion on the whole situation, you can go ahead and read that. We don't need to take up too much time discussing that. I think enough time's been taken up talking about burn in the last year for everybody. But I think 0.5 for the people that are like, no taxes are, and it's not even a tax, it's a gas fee. I mean, it's a freaking gas fee. Calling it a tax is dumb. We should just call it a gas fee because that's what it is. And then it won't be so abrasive to so many individuals. And then it can just be lumped in as it already currently is with the gas calculation. And that's just what it costs to transact on the chain. And it's a burn mechanism, just like Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain has. And it would be less abrasive to people. So, yeah, whitelist DApp contracts, I'm fine with that from now. Split the burn tax, whatever. 80/20, sure. It's a good medium ground for the people that absolutely hate the tax, and then everyone that wants to go back to 1.2%. I mean, yeah, like I said, go read my tweet if you want my opinion on that situation. TGF released a minor update today, say they're switching to seeking, like they're focusing on outside funding instead of the community pool. Other than that, not much more there. Where's that other little snippet of information? That was the multi-sig wallet controlled by Ed, Marco, and Jag Mott will be discontinued and replaced with an official TGF wallet owned by the TGF entity, which personally I'm fine with. If you guys find outside funding, that's your money to do with as you wish, and give to any projects or, pay yourselves and keep the lights on and what have you. So no problem there. I'm sure that will also probably more than likely be a multi-sig, but they're discontinuing the one of Ed Marco and Jag Mott that have been the overseers of the funds for the L1 task force and what have you. Whew, that was a lot. And for any of our listeners that are kind enough to do so, we do also always appreciate a like and a retweet. That helps get the word out there about the space. It gets more people in here listening, which gets us more speakers, and it just creates a generally better show. You guys got anything to add to that mouthful I just ran through?
Just a little more news that the Miata.io had been integrated into Rebel Station. If for those who use Rebel Station, and make it easier to access.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. After a little bit of poking on my end at Echelon over the last few weeks, finally he added Miata.io, which is probably the most widely used NFT launchpad currently interacting with Luna Classic right now. I'm pretty sure it's the only one. I'm pretty sure the other three I'm aware of, Talus, something Earth, and Nowhere, something or another. I don't know. They still allow you to transact the NFTs that were minted on there before the DPEG event, but they no longer support new NFTs. So Miata, love what Strathcole is doing over there. Really glad Echelon added them to Rebel Station finally. I do know if any people in the audience talk to the different NFT people, the different projects putting NFTs out, or you yourself are thinking of doing so eventually, you can have your NFTs print on Rebel Station if someone owns them. So if they purchase one of your NFTs, they can view it on their wallet. But to be able to do that with your NFT, you have to go submit a pull request to Terra Rebels on their GitHub, and I want to find the exact thing. I believe I pinned it. Yeah, so they need to add their NFT to the contracts.json file in our assets GitHub repo under the folder CW721. So that's obviously the token designation for NFTs themselves. And yeah, I would love to see projects start doing that. I hope Echelon and Raider and the rest of TR eventually rip out all the old projects. And honestly, they need to be ripped out of the L1 as well, which is one of the major parts of uh, what's it called? Scaling and longevity with the chain. Got to rip out all that old data that no one's interacting with anymore. And, since the DPEG, not anything post DPEG, but pre DPEG projects that abandoned us, rip them out of there to allow more space for new projects because of the upgrade essential time bomb of where you can only upgrade so much data at a given time. That is a Cosmos thing. I'm not too familiar with it. But yeah. It'd be awesome to see new projects on there. I really hope eventually some NFT people, the different projects, I'm not going to name any, but they go in and submit that pull request so people can view their NFTs on Rebel Station because it's just cool. And that's what this tech is about, ease of access and use and everything. Yeah. You getting any NFTs lately, Robs? She doesn't want to share. What's up, Rex?
Yo.
I mean, I did mint a couple more, but I'm still waiting for rewards to go through, and I was waiting on the Lunkable to get their new line out, which I think is going to come out today or tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, true that.
Yeah, that one. Those are really cool, unique, and definitely set apart from the other ones. Just because I believe they were a dot gift or something.
It's okay. You can mute yourself. That's allowed. That was your dog's better, Rex.
My apologies.
You're fine. So Rex, what do you want to chat about? You guys are trash tonight. Are you there?
It's not my fault that, many years ago I decided to have children and procreate. It's just I live with the consequences now, and so just deal with me, guys.
And Rex has ditched. So
No, I didn't.
Oh, there you are. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I thought I unmuted myself for a second, but yeah, I just have a lot going on my end.
I see that.
I share some stuff with you. I had a meeting with XLR yesterday, and long story short, they're willing to give us everything that they have. The only thing is we have to provide value and kind of ensure that people actually use it, which is fair, right?
What are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
XLR network?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like a bunch of assets that they're willing to let us use.
Are these assets that are like locked on the Axelar network from
pre-DPEG? It has to be done through IBCs, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. They just said we could use anything we want as long as we can provide the value. So,
what is it that they have?
Give me a second. They have a list. So they have their coin, their platform. They left me something. They left me something that says literally a number 6 in there. I'm not sure what that is. So there's a XLR. I have to kind of ask them more about that, and it's all supported by EVMs.
Oh, so what you're saying is like when they say that they'll give us all their assets, do they mean like by like implementing lunk compatibility?
Yeah. And like,
well, that's cool.
Build around it as well. Like, I still have to talk to them about like, okay, so we use this. Can we implement some sort of use case to it? Yeah. I still have to talk to them about that.
Interesting. Everyone go do research on Axelar right now. I know absolutely nothing about them. What are they offering? I mean, so they're essentially I honestly don't even know what to think of that.
My head is everywhere. So
I know it. You've been talking to a lot of people lately, which is why I like getting you up here for these conversations. Because honestly, I mean, you guys are hearing this at the same time as me, and yeah.
All right. What else did I got here? Kujira Network. I still have to have a follow-up meeting with them to create a utility around, Lunken, Kujira, and USTC. Probably gonna go towards burning or whatever else we can probably think of. But they want to have a meeting with me to kind of discuss, and they seem pretty excited about it.
Interesting. And they're the lending platform, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I could see them implementing some type of burn or something. I mean, honestly, it's right now it's all about notoriety. I mean, you have to think that probably like 90% of people aren't aware of everything that's happening outside of like the bare minimums. I can't tell you how many times a day in a week even people come onto the Discord and they're just like, "Hey guys, haven't been paying attention for like 8 months. I see we'll still hear what's going on." So, and it's also the middle of the bear market, and a lot of people just don't. Well, towards the end, in my opinion, but people just don't pay attention to crypto during that time. They just let their bags sit and then want to come back to them being worth, $10 million in 2 years.
No, of course, it's never gonna work out that way, especially with this supply that we have, right?
Yeah, no, but I could definitely see, Kujira. I can't promise volume since so many people aren't really paying attention, but if they were to implement some type of burn mechanism, I could see that happening easily. And then I'm interested to see what you have to say that they said.
Yeah, I gotta follow up on that one. Hopefully by this end of this week or maybe early next week. I got all of them pretty much at a bad time because they're going through some serious upgrades with their network right now. So I haven't been able to follow up. Like I messaged them yesterday and today, and I haven't got a response back yet. So they've been pretty much slammed.
Okay. Are you aware if anyone has utilized their service since Luna Classic's implementation?
In what aspect are we talking about here?
I don't know the lending and borrowing. I don't know.
Do I personally know? No. I mean the numbers are there when you launch the application, so there are people using it. I just don't know
who. I want to go look.
All right.
Okay.
I don't have too much time, so I'll just go down, give a briefing about everything I have. Right. What else do I got here? I have. Oh, I helped stop another scam today, so that's good. I got in. You saw I sent you earlier. I got in touch with OPNX Exchange.
Yeah, I saw you mention that before.
Yeah, I kind of just shot my shot with them, and then I surprisingly got a response. So we'll see what comes of that. All right. I have group chats open with Stride Network, White Whale. They're waiting to deploy on the chain. Once we get our parity, Say Network, they are very willing to lend us their resources to help build utilities to provide use cases for Lunk and to burn.
Okay.
What else here? I connected with the CEO of KuCoin. Okay. And Certic. I'm helping out Certic with a few things they asked me about, specifically with bugs that happened.
Interesting. Any particular rugs?
Yeah, you can view it. It's Merlin Dex. Let me see where if you could share this because I'm using my phone and my computer. I'll send it to you.
Go for it. My dog was barking. We all have background noise.
Yeah, I already sent it to you.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share that in the bird's nest.
What else here?
And you were talking about Merlin Dex. That's what Dex in the EU that
Yeah,
rugged or something?
yeah. I'm not really familiar with their finders and their blockchain, so I don't really know which one they use. Um, I mean, it's called ZK Sync. I've never heard of it. It's my first time kind of messing with it, but I basically figured everything out within the first 3 hours. For what it's worth, they gave me very uh, positive feedback on the research I've done.
Am I back?
Huh?
Nothing. I lost connection there for a second. Yeah, ZK Sync. I think that's an Ethereum side chain or layer 2 or something. I'm not sure. I hear it in relation to Ethereum a lot.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I mean, but it was, I guess, kind of easy to use in a sense. It's just new to me.
Yeah. So what's Psi Network talking about? Say Network.
Say Network.
Uh-huh.
They pretty much discussed with me. Like I gave them like the honest truth about what's going on with Nuna Classic, and they were pretty supportive and wanted to lend us their resources and help build use cases and utility and to help burn Luna Classic to help deflate the supply. They've been pretty really friendly people, and I mean, I can't really say too much about it because nothing has come up yet. They've been pretty much slammed too with a lot of projects they're working with and network upgrades as well. So hopefully they'll get back to me within this or next week, and then I can probably bring it to your next Twit space.
Interesting. Yeah, man. Nothing currently lined up for the next space, so if you want to pop in and drop a line and give us another update on what it is you're working on, and because you're mainly focusing on building bridges with all these different Cosmos networks. So I like to keep an eye on that because it could have some really cool effects in the long term.
Yeah, I think I just have my. I'm just in too many different sectors right now, so as soon as I start getting burned out a little bit, I just hop off for like a few hours. But just kind of touching back on what else I've been working on. I'm not sure if you heard of Shade Protocol. I found them a little interesting. It looks like they are a DEX, a bridge of some sort.
Okay.
And I was talking to them about just kind of building the relationship to see what we can do cross chain for each other, and they were pretty receptive.
You there, Rex? Did I get rugged again, or did he rug?
You got rugged, bro. Everybody can hear me, right?
Can you hear
Hello?
me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear both of you guys, but can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear Rex. Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe I just really don't like you.
That would make sense.
Yup, still can't hear Rex. Can he hear me?
Rex, it's like you're too godly for anybody else to hear you.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I guess probably leave and rejoin.
Kind of need our guest to have the show unless we just start talking about random stuff. Like I know
Plan, I think you're the only person that can't hear Rex.
he left.
Cody, can you hear Rex?
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear Rex, Cody. Even though he just left. Cody left. Not helpful,
Oh.
Cody. Not helpful at all. Okay.
Anybody else? Thumbs up. No. Okay, now Rex left.
Are you back?
Hey.
Are you back? Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, that was a weird situation.
Twitter Spaces, man.
Yeah, we got to tweet out to Elon about that. But yeah, another one was Shade Protocol, which it seems like a bridge DEX of some sort. I'll send it to you. Long story short, I got connected with them, and just to see, kind of grasp what they're about, and if it's something that is good, then I'll try to build some sort of relationship with them.
Okay. Yeah, they seem. I would assume they're built on Cosmos since Atom is their native currency on their DEX, it looks like, and also a bridge. So, okay, they bridge to a lot of different Cosmos chains.
Yeah. Another one I got connected to and have been actively discussing with is called Loop Protocol, if you've heard of it.
I don't believe I have.
They're like an old project that were pretty much rugged by TFL. You know, when the crash happened. Here you go. I'll send it to you there. And let me see what he said here. He pretty much asked us what's going on with Terra Classic, and I gave him some vague, honest answers. But he said he was pretty receptive of it as well. He basically said, "Let me know how we might be able to contribute." So, from everything that I've been interacting with people in different protocols and blockchains and networks, they haven't said no to me. So that's a positive thing. But at the same time, I feel like I might be overdoing it, and it's just too much happening all at once. Just from my examination of what's going on the blockchain, I'm just afraid of people not using these sort of utilities that may enter the chain at some point.
Yeah, man, I would say, the best thing to do is pick the ones that seem like they'll flesh out the most, the best opportunities, and just kind of hone in on a few and focus on them and give them the full treatment. If they're really interested about interacting with or implementing Luna Classic in some form or way, instead of spreading yourself so thin. Interesting. It seems like you're contacting a lot of. What are you doing? Are you just like Googling Cosmos applications and then trying to contact these people?
Of course not. It's just I was put into this secret Cosmos group chat, right? It has over 400 something people in there, and they're all from different parts of the Cosmos. Right.
Is it like when you say secret, is it secret network or is it secret as in like it's a private chat?
It's a private chat.
Okay.
And it's everybody from everywhere, like from Osmosis to Stride. Everybody's in here.
Okay.
Even Certic's in here. So yeah, I've just basically been networking around. It's not like I just Google people or like try to reach out to them on Twitter. Whatever people see me do on Twitter, I do it intentionally so everybody can see what's going on. But yeah, there's a lot of other things that I just do in the background. Like, I mean, you really haven't heard me talk about, Certic, Certic stuff, or you haven't heard me talk about the whole red line proposal thing that I'm still working on. So there's a lot of things that I do in the back that I don't bring to the public unless I have it solidified.
Yeah, which is of course good. There's no reason for false hype anywhere. Interesting. Now I'm more curious about this chat now more than anything.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Is it a Discord or Telegram chat?
It's a Telegram chat.
Gross. I hate Telegram.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much everything just piled into a little small rant of everything I've been working on to date. There are some other things I just can't speak about yet. I'm unsure. But what I'm most curious about is the OPNX exchange.
I mean, I would honestly love to see, an established exchange, even if it's on a different Cosmos chain, like natively implement Luna Classic to where you don't have to use an IBC channel to use their exchange. I think that would be awesome, as opposed to like other current options. Like I know CoinHall has Luna Classic on it, and they're great. But there's a lot of scam tokens on there, and I don't think anyone really knows that you can utilize Luna Classic on CoinHall. If I'm thinking, is it CoinHall? It's CoinHall, right?
Yeah, CoinHall.
So, I mean, like you could go launch a Lunk token right now on CoinHall, I believe, but no one knows you can, and that's there's definitely some disconnect between the current community and the community before and what projects we're building then. And even if they still have Luna Classic implemented like CoinHall, no one knows about it. No one talks about it. No one cares about it, which is to our disadvantage. But I can understand the idea of not really acknowledging anything unless they're building now, considering the mass exodus of builders when Do Kwon or TFL decided to go with V2 instead of continuing to build on what is now known as Luna Classic. And there's also a very organic community based, like those who are building right now. You're not seeing some entity with hundreds of millions of dollars in VC funding come in, and building a DEX. It's just people that have the skills, they have the drive. They're doing their own little side projects to help the chain, and of course also probably to make a little money. And there's nothing wrong with that. So. Yeah. So having these different, dexes, even if it's on a different Cosmos chain, come in and say like, "Hey, we're going to implement Luna Classic, and you don't have to use IBC channels." That'd be awesome. It'd be good.
Yeah, another thing I'm really worried about is that, just from observation, I don't see people actually using their bag, which is kind of concerning given the supply as well. I'm not calling anybody a dummy here, but I think people should get educated on the economics of a blockchain and what it takes to make it robust.
Well, I mean, no, I completely agree with you. I use my bag. I know K-Rox uses her bag, because that's the whole point of it, is to interact with the what is supposed to be a self-sustaining ecosystem, the little microcosm that is the network you're involved with. And I interact with a lot of projects just because I respect them for building on chain. I don't, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, I did all my own DD and I did my own research and I looked heavily into the project. I mean, half the time I'm just like, hey, man, you're building on chain. Here's a few lunk, just to show that chain volume, just to increase the chain volume to show that it is a vibrant network, because we have a lot of daily transactions, but I mean, most of them are just staking rewards and they don't mean anything really. Um, but like I said earlier, I think it has a lot to do with, like people actually being aware of these projects. I would say a vast majority of the Luna Classic population, community, whatever you want to call them, are simply, they're not aware of them. They don't see them on their Twitter feed. It's not being talked about in Discords, or Telegram chats. Everyone's talking about the L1 this, the L1 that. When if you go look at any other networks chats, they're talking about the projects building on chain, not what the hell the L1's doing at any given moment, at any given day. Like, oh, you're telling me Bilbo only wiped twice today in the bathroom? Whoa. So, like, there definitely is, and that I feel that has a lot to do with the level of involvement a lot of the community has had with crypto previously. I would say, yourself, you didn't really get too involved with blockchain and crypto before Luna Classic. And I think that goes with a lot of the community. And I would say most of them haven't taken that leap to actually delve into the ecosystem we're beginning to see grow and hopefully one day flourish. Um, and that has a lot to do, with, like, I mean, we're using Twitter. A lot of people go to I would say most people go to Twitter for their general crypto news, unless you're looking at a specific project, and Twitter's algorithm groups you into these little communities based upon what you hashtag and who you interact with on Twitter. So if you're only interacting with a very small group of people on Twitter, you're not going to see the feeds of other people talking about things, that you might be interested in because you're not in their, Twitter circle. Um, I think Twitter calls them communities. Like you have the Luna Classic community, which is broken up into smaller communities of people that interact with each other. You got the Bitcoin community, the Dogecoin community, whatever, you know. So that's why I've been like really pushing projects to come and join the Discord, to give a shout out about their project, not because I endorse them, but just because I know how difficult it is for them to get people to even see their tweets about them building, especially if they're not someone that has gained any form of notoriety within the last year. If you're a new project and you have zero Twitter followers, I mean, good luck gaining a following if you don't have the support of someone that can, retweet you that has a larger following. Which is, like why I had David, who is currently in the audience, and his project partner Renzo up last week, because even though David has a larger following than me, I mean, I'm sure we introduced that project to a few people, not that they should go invest in it, but just so, they're aware of it and, the building that is happening on chain from community members. Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot to say about that because no, I feel it too. And there's no centralized authority for people to go to, to get information about projects building, either super reputable projects that are endorsed and condoned by whatever entity runs the chain, like TFL back in the day, or the Ethereum Foundation or whatever. We don't have that, so it's all word of mouth. So which is good for organic growth for like a project, which is the strongest type of growth, um, but definitely difficult for them to get started, uh, especially when the person releasing L1 updates, has like 4,000 followers, and there's definitely a wall there. So, yeah. Nothing. I'll keep monologuing. I will. I'll do it.
No, I told you I didn't have too much time. I have to go soon. But yeah, I just think it's important that the community continues to educate themselves on what it takes to kind of get the chain moving and get money flowing. Just all everything involved with economics. Um, I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing as far as networking and bringing projects and all the other good stuff over. But it's also the community's job to continue to learn about this and interact with them as well. Anyways, aside of that, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, brother, you take it easy, man. I appreciate you hopping up here.
Bye, Rex.
And Rex is right, and I completely agree with him. It really is all about on-chain interactions. That truly is what is the basis of a healthy chain, is high on-chain tax and volume, and it's exchange rate volume. You want money moving around, because if the velocity of money is low, then you don't have an economy. So, and currently all our velocity comes from staking, which doesn't necessarily denote an economy, because if all anyone is doing is drawing money from the economy, but they're not interacting with the economy, then that economy is not sustainable. Which is why, me as an individual, if I trust a project or not, I'll throw a little bit of lunk around just to help that daily transaction volume. So yeah. I wish Rex didn't ditch us, but it's okay. He'll be back. K-Rox. Listeners, anyone want to come up and continue the conversation, since I know K-Rox is busy with
children? Yeah, well, sorry.
No, you're fine. If anybody wants to come up and chat about something, anything we've gone over, anything different, that's of course welcomed. I was thinking about going into the thing Guy asked me about, but I think he left, so I'll probably do that next week, like I told him I would do. Yeah.
There was something that was brought up by one of the community members that he thought would be important or a good suggestion for us to discuss. And let's see. He said, what about doing an episode on governance, the validators, and voting? Talk about the importance of choosing the right validators for the way you want your voice heard. Explain to people about the need to vote yourself if necessary to override a validator, not voting or voting against your wishes. The importance of redelegating if necessary. The need to check governance for new proposals. And he had mentioned that to me in chat, and I thought it'd be a good idea. It's something that we could talk about.
No, yeah, I completely agree. And he tweeted at me on Twitter too, and that was actually literally what I was just talking about doing, like next week, and have a focused discussion on it. We could do that now, but it would be at the end of this episode, so a lot of people probably wouldn't hear it.
Yeah, that's okay. If you want to save it for next week, we can put it onto a plan for that, especially since I'm a little semi-preoccupied right now.
Yeah, you're fine. I know you'll be free next week. Okay. You guys are a very inactive audience, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean that I'm stating and seeing that way. Most people want to talk. You guys just want to listen. It's interesting. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I expected Rex to be on a little bit longer than that. Nothing wrong with that, though. He, of course, has his own life to live. So if you all don't feel like discussing anything, and I already ran through everything I was going to talk about, I'm probably just going to go ahead and close it out for tonight and give everyone an early Tuesday. Going once, David, you want to come up and talk? I know you're working on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest it and see if David would want to come up and give us an update about what's going on with the project for base.
Well, I gave you a speaker invite. If you want to come up and talk, David, you're more than welcome to. If not, then we're probably going to go ahead and close it out. Going once. Going twice. Oh, there he is. What's up, David?
Sorry, I'm just finishing up dinner.
Oh, you're good, man. I'm sorry for interrupting your dinner.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Well,
I don't know if there's anything to report since last week. We have, I guess, we're definitely getting some traction, and I think we're up to about 85 million in the token mining curve now. So that's good. I started after we gained that much in a week. I was like projecting it out. I was like, all right, we'll be at 1.8 billion in like 3 months or something. I forget how many. But I was like, that's. I'm happy with the growth so far.
awesome, man. Awesome. Love to see it. Love to see. I see you guys are posting like wallets that have interacted with the contract updates. I think the last time, you guys had gotten over 120 something interactions. So that's really awesome. I'm glad I could get you to present a stage for you guys to get your message out there. So that's cool.
Yeah, and then a few other spaces or people who host spaces have contacted us, so we're gonna start like a little lineup.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Love to hear it. But that's what Coffee Corner's about now, isn't it? We get the news out first. You come here to get the alpha. Um, cool, man. I'm still mining on base. Not an endorsement, guys. Never an endorsement. Do your own research. Um, I just think it's interesting. I like it. It's just nifty. Um, yeah, yeah. Hmm. So, well, guys, since David, of course, he was on just a week ago, so nothing crazy has happened too much for their base project under their Elbun name, which I will actually, for anyone who hasn't seen their Twitter yet, they are rather active. I'll share one of their tweets in this space. Uh, do 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 do. I'll share your guys' end of day report. That seems fair. Um, Oh yeah, that's right. I can't do this on freaking the computer. I really wish Twitter would implement Spaces for desktop. It seems like that would be a good choice. So if you guys aren't aware of them, do your own research. Go and give them a look. Look into their white paper. They do a pretty good job of explaining just what it is they're trying to do. You just got 2 promos there, David, but not an endorsement. Do your own research. Uh, yeah. Anybody else want to hop up? If not, we're going to close it out. No? Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and call it. David, thanks for coming up and talking. Always a pleasure to have you, brother. Our spaces are usually longer when we have a more focused topic, but we didn't really have anyone lined up this week besides Rex. Unlike you guys last week, where we can fill up almost 2 hours with content. But yeah, so thanks again, everyone, for joining us this evening. It's just going to be an early one, a chill one, which is what we want here at Coffee Corner. Just a place to go ahead and chat about what's happening. And it helps a lot more if you guys want to chat. That was shade. I did throw some shade there. So, but I still appreciate all you guys for coming and hanging out with us. We'll be back again next week. Not sure with what, but with something. Maybe we'll take an even more chill episode and just talk about some educational stuff because that's something Kay and I want to do. And we'll have an educational episode. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week.